We are starting off by prepping my lovely sister's nails. She is in town currently, so I figured I would take advantage of her hands and give her a good set of nails. I'm going to be prepping her natural nails simply by taking my Efile at 4,000 RPMs, and we're just going to be gently buffing off that shine from her natural nail. We want to make sure that it is nice and buffed out so that everything adheres properly. If you guys are not properly prepping the nail, chances are more than likely that they will pop off or lift very, very early on, and we're trying to prevent that. All in one motion, I'm going to be buffing off that shine while also pushing back her cuticle gently. I prefer to do this method other than using a cuticle pusher. Just for personal preference, you can absolutely use a cuticle pusher if you prefer to do that as well. Once I'm done with that, I'm taking the tapered diamond bit from Profiles Backstage, and I'm going to be using that to go around that cuticle area and gently buff off any dead skin that I may have missed with my mandrel bit. A lot of the time we bypass the fact that there is still dead skin in those hard to reach areas. So I always recommend implementing this, and this will very much so help with any lifting issues you may have. So if you haven't already tried adding this to your prep, definitely recommend it. I'm going to be going in with these beautiful tips that I absolutely am obsessed with. These are super straight square tips. They are no C curve, which I actually have been preferring a lot lately. I'm just going to be sizing them to her nail and then gluing them very quickly with the Young Nails brush on glue, which is my absolute favorite. I'm going to be kind of pinching the sides as well to make sure that they are properly adhered both to the sides. Sometimes they can be a little bit lifted on those corners, so you want to make sure that you're pressing that down firmly as well. Now I'm taking my nail tip cutters and just trimming these down. We did go for a longer length, which I absolutely adore that she was okay with doing long nails. If you guys have seen her hands on my channel before, I always talk her into doing pretty long nails, so I definitely love that for us. I'm going to be taking the Tammy Taylor peel and stick files, which are my favorite hand files, and I'm just going to roughly go in and kind of square it out a little bit more, specifically focusing on that tip, because when you do trim them, you will have a little bit of maybe crookedness, or just the tip cutters may have not cut them as straight as you want it to be. So I'm making sure that I'm going in with my hand file to straighten that back out. Now I did ask her what she wanted me to do on her nails, and she 100% said I had free range on that. Now I have a love and hate relationship with freestyle type of nails, because a lot of the time it can be really tricky to come up with things. But if you guys have been watching my videos, I know that I mention it a lot. Sometimes creativity block can be real, so I really pushed myself out there on this one. We decided on red as the theme of it, and since it is kind of the fall vibes and then going right into December, which is Christmas vibes, I decided to do red, plaid, and just sparkliness so that it kind of ties all of those things together in one set. So we are absolutely doing red bottoms. I'm actually taking the red gel paint from the frosting collection from Profiles Backstage, and I'm using one of my Makartt gel brushes to apply that so it's a quicker process and I don't struggle to fully cover that tip. I am pretty much just covering the entire plastic tip, curing that in the light, and then we're going right in with our primer, which is the acrylic primer from Kiara Sky, which has been my go-to, and I'm just focusing on her natural nail for this because I know the acrylic is gonna adhere properly to that tip. I don't have to bring that down any further. Now, once you prime and prep the other hand, the primer should be ready to go and you should be able to go in and apply your acrylic. Always remember to cure that gel paint. You want to make sure you're putting it in the light for 60 seconds. The red will blend into all the acrylic that you apply if you do not cure it fully. So make sure you guys cure it, and you can also wipe off that tacky layer if you prefer, but I believe these paints don't have tacky layers, so I just went in with my acrylic. We are using this beautiful and stunning red acrylic called Red Fox from Not Polish. I thought it would be the perfect addition to her set since we're going to be doing sparkles and red. It just tied in so perfectly, and I do think this is like the perfect Christmassy red color. So I'm just going in and applying that. I am actually using the Kiara Sky acrylic brush in a size 14, and then I'm using the Kiara Sky monomer as well. I absolutely have been adoring their monomer, so definitely recommend if you guys are looking for a good one. I'm just making sure that everything is nice and smooth. I am going to be using this as my base for the nail art that I'm going to be adding on top. I will explain that a little bit further once I get to that portion, but I'm using that as my base. Now, when it comes to the nude portion of the nail, we decided to go with nude and not black just because, like I said, we wanted something super festive. I am using First Nude from Not Polish. This is a beautiful nude color that I absolutely adore. I'm not even gonna lie, I was a little bit scared that the red was gonna be showing through the nude, and I was panicking at this point because you definitely can see it, but as I started layering a little bit more of that product on, I started noticing it go away, and it kind of made me feel a little bit more at ease. So I'm just going to be going in with my basic acrylic application for this. We start near the tip, go downwards towards the end of the tip, and then I work my way up towards the cuticle area, just adding bead after bead until I get that thickness that I like. And I am making sure that I'm building up her apex pretty good as well, so that they do not break, crack, or worse, pop off her nail. So we're going to be going in and just adding that as we go up towards that cuticle area. And always remember to push that up while holding the finger downwards. Gravity is going to help the product flow down towards the tip and not into the cuticle area. And then I just gently guide that acrylic into the right direction that I want it to go. Always remember to practice your liquid to powder ratio. If you guys are struggling with your acrylic application, that is probably the reason why. And then of course, some products themselves will make a huge difference. I 1000% recommend the Not Polish acrylics because their formula is super buttery and it's very easy to work with. All the classes that I have done using their products, everyone absolutely loves them. So definitely recommend the Not Polish powders if you guys haven't tried them out. I definitely recommend you guys do that. So I'm just going to go in and apply that on the rest of the nails. We are only doing that red on the pinky, and the rest are going to be nude and adding topical nail art to make them pop and definitely give the festive vibes. I'm going to be going in with my clear acrylic from Not Polish, and I'm going to be encapsulating that nail. It is glitter, so you want to make sure you go in, even though it's red, once you go in and file it, if you do not have a clear coat on it, it will file off the sparkle and turn it silver. So make sure you are encapsulating it. You want to make sure that you are protecting that glitter. Once everything is nice and dry, we're going to be going in with our filing process. I'm taking my Efile at 10,000 RPMs, and I'm going to be going in and filing it around the cuticle area, making sure that everything is nice and flush, and then just roughly going around the entire surface of the nail to make sure that all of that is nice and smooth. I'm going side to side, and then I go vertically up and down just to make sure that I can cover the entire surface of the nail in one motion. And then we're going to be going in with our mandrel bit to make sure everything is super smooth. I'm going to be going in with my hand file once again. We're going to make sure everything is super straight by taking our Tammy Taylor peel and stick file on the side. And you see me kind of go underneath the nail as well. That's just me ensuring that if there's any acrylic under there, I'm going to be filing that off and making it super smooth as well. And I'm actually going to be turning the hand around a little bit later and filing that too, because since she has that red bottom, I want to make sure everything looks super clean and sleek. So we're going to be going in on the sides, and then I'm going to be flipping the hand around to look at the nails from her perspective and squaring off that tip. Unfortunately, you won't be able to see that process because I do move out of frame in camera every single time I do that. It's very rare that I actually am able to show that when I'm working on a client versus on my practice hand. Of course, I always show that process because I move everything easily. And with the client, it's a little bit hard to be like, twist your entire hand underneath the camera. So I'll eventually get my life together on that and fix it so you guys can see. But I feel like from my other videos, you guys get the gist of exactly what I'm talking about. And then finally, once everything is nice and shaped, I'm going to be taking my mandrel bit and sanding band, both from Profiles Backstage, same one that I used for her prep. I just switched out the sanding band so that it's nice and new. I'm going to be going in on the entire surface of the nail just to make sure that everything is super smooth. This is going to help in place of a buffer, but if you want them super smooth, definitely recommend to still go in with the buffer. It kind of just depends on whether you need it or not. Now, like I mentioned, I'm flipping the hand over to file the underneath. This is just gonna help remove all the excess little plastic pieces from the tip and just fully get rid of that so it's super clean under there. I do typically do this. A lot of the time I don't show it on camera, so I'm definitely glad that I'm including this on this portion. I always forget to do this until I'm done with the nail, so I think that's why I always forget to include in the videos. But I'm also going on the tip as well to make sure everything is nice, smooth, and perfect. Now we're going in and cleaning the surface of the nail with the lint-free wipe and a little bit of Young Nail Swipe, removing all that excess dust, and then we're going to be going in with our nail art. Now you guys already know that I always am super transparent on my channel, so here I'm showing you guys a little fail. Not necessarily a fail, I just chose the wrong color for the vibe that I was going with, but I'm going to be going in with Gloss It from Not Polish, adding a thin layer of that, and then I'm just layering on the Profiles Backstage beautiful red color. Unfortunately, this was way too maroon for the vibe that I was going. You can see it's a little bit more on the burgundy side, so whenever I went in with the red that we had chose that matched underneath the nail and also for the nail art that we were going to be doing, I did it and then I didn't like the contrast of the two reds against each other. I wanted everything to match as best as possible. So at this point, I kind of looked at them and was wondering whether to leave it or not, but I do want everything to be super cohesive. So I ended up filing it off. I just didn't like it. My sister agreed as well, so we took the opportunity to just go ahead and start over. I'm taking my mandrel bit once again, filing that off very quickly. I'm using this bit because I don't want to accidentally overfile the acrylic. It's already nice and smooth and shaped out, so I do not want to mess it up again. So this is going to just gently remove that, and then I'm going to be able to go back in with Gloss It again and then layer on the actual color that we loved how everything kind of flowed together. And then I went ahead and just wiped that one off too so that I didn't have any dust in it since I did go in and file. Again, going in with Gloss It from Not Polish, adding a thin layer of that, and then we're going to be sprinkling on this beautiful vibrant red glitter from Kiara Sky. I absolutely adore this color and it's super sparkly, so we definitely love that. I'm just kind of tapping it in on the sides, especially because I don't want it to be sticking out at all and bother her. Textured nails can be really tricky for certain clients, so always be aware of that and kind of pat it in a little bit so that it's not overly sticking out. Now for the middle finger, I decided to do a design that I saw a few years back, I believe, and I absolutely loved the vibe of it. I tried to recreate it from my memory as best as possible. I don't know who did it, so can't give them credit, but shout out to you for coming out with this really pretty design. I am going in with half of the nail with the red color, and I did take the red frosting gel paint from Profiles Backstage, mixed a little bit of black in there just to deepen it up a little bit because it is a little bit more vibrant. And then we cured that in the light, and then the opposite side we're going to be doing with white, and I'm just perfecting that smile line right there. I want it to be nice and crisp, and they're kind of like an abstract type of French design, which I really liked. And then I'm kind of just cleaning up any little area, cure that in the light. Once that's cured, I'm taking this transparent polish from Kiara Sky. It's their black one. It's one of their jelly polishes. And then I took a little bit more black to just deepen it up a little bit because it was a little bit too much on the dark side. You can 100% make this mix by yourself by simply taking Gloss It from Not Polish and adding a little bit of black in there and making it nice and see-through. So we're doing two lines, curing that in the light, and now we're going in with the second layer across to give the plaid type of vibe. And I'm just trying to make everything as straight as possible. And I'm just taking my liner from Profiles Backstage and making sure that I am holding the finger nice and sturdy, stabilizing my hand with my pinky so that I don't wiggle all over the place. And then we're going to be curing that in the light as well for another 60 seconds. I'm gonna be taking a black gel paint from Profiles Backstage and just outlining the white portion. And then for the opposite side, we're gonna be taking white and outlining that just a little bit. Now y'all already know that I like to take designs and make them my own, so we are customizing this design with a little bit of the pop art, nail art type of vibe. So I thought I would incorporate this just because it's super trendy and we all love trendy nails. So I'm going to be incorporating that on the red portion since it was, to me, in my opinion, a little bit just too blank. So I wanted to give it a little bit of an extra oomph. So we're gonna do just that. We're taking black, doing little lines, and then the white, and then I also mixed up a deeper red to give that illusion of the pop art style of nail art. Now we're going to be taking this beautiful red glitter liner from Not Polish. I really like this. I didn't want to do another textured nail again, so it didn't bother her too much. I feel like when it's on the pinky, we can kind of ignore that a little bit, but when it's on a finger that we use a lot, I didn't want to do that so that it didn't bug her and then she want me to take it off. So we're just gonna be adding this one. It still matches really nicely. The red is the perfect match, and then the glitter is like the perfect sparkle. So I'm just doing a French nail on that one, cleaning up any little mess ups, and then we're gonna be curing that in the light again for 60 seconds in between layers whenever you feel it is necessary. Wiping the side so that the shape does not get messed up at all. And then I'm switching to the other hand to do a little bit of a different type of design. I figured I would kind of just add a little extraness to the thumb since I had no idea what the heck I was doing, quite frankly, but I wanted to incorporate that same red throughout the entire set. So we're gonna be doing a line across, and then we're gonna cure that in the light. Switching back to the other hand, we are doing crystals to add a little bit more of the sparkle for the holiday season. I'm taking these big crystals from Not Polish, and I'm just going to randomly do a little design across the nail vertically, and then just kind of go with it. I'm making sure that I am pressing them into that gem gel, which is 100% recommended. That stuff will keep your crystals on forever and a half, and they are really hard to take off if you don't have like any little area to kind of get the nippers under. I struggled the last time I used it on myself. Went ahead and placed that in the light for 60 seconds, and then we are going to be top coating. I want to make sure that my base is nice and top coated, so when I go in with my sweater nail, I do not forget. So I'm going in with matte for pretty much all of the nails except this one. We're doing just the nude part with the matte, and then I'm going to be doing glossy on the actual glitter so it's nice and sparkly. And then I'm just top coating the rest of the nails as well with matte from Not Polish. Going back to the thumb once everything is nice and dry, we're going to be doing the cable knit type of sweater vibe. Super simple. Just do little lines, and then you're going to be connecting them across like this, and then skipping to the other one and connecting that one as well. Sprinkling some clear acrylic over that to give it some texture, and then we're going to be popping that back into the light for another 60 seconds. Now we're going to be adding the delicious smelling cuticle oil from Profiles Backstage in Sweet V, which is my collab with them. We're going to be rubbing that into the cuticles and then making sure that everything is nice and perfect. And that pretty much concludes today's video. Let me know what you guys think down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a ton. And I'll see you guys next time.